Hello and welcome to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, student of astrology, master of numerology, the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast deck, and a mother and a wife. And I'm here to help you see yourself as the best version of who you are. How are you doing? And happy Sunday to everybody. I'm really excited to be here. I hope you are too. Couple of things I want to just get out there to remind you: share, like, and comment. Because when you do, you get the opportunity to win our raffle prize for today. So you have to be in it to win it. So again, here's how it goes. Here's the rules. Just by being here live with us, you get a chance to get your name in the bucket. Share, that gives you a second chance. Like and comment, a third chance. So that's a lot of chances to win a prize. So again, you got to be in it to win it. Also want to remind you, for those of you who might have missed last week's episode, I had an amazing guest on. There was a flyer, and her name is Nicole Black, and she's an author and an entrepreneur, but the author of this amazing brand new book that she wrote, I Can Still Hear You. You definitely want to go and check out that book. It's a true story and it's remarkable. So, and if you didn't catch last week's show, you can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and YouTube, and of course right here on the replays. So just in case you've missed any episodes, you can always find us on demand. Know that for sure. So how are you doing? I want to give a shout out to all the advertising sponsors that make this week's show possible, and there's a list of them, starting with Kendrick Greer, who's our astrologer. You always want to connect with him because there's always something going on in the stars that can either make your week or break your week, if you want to say it that way. And then we have, again, our guest from last week, Nicole Black, who's our author and entrepreneur. Eliza Bloom Robertson, she's our transformational catalyst. Dr. Robert Garcia, he's our warrior strategist. Then we have Matad Bradbury, which is our Mystic Warrior Academy. He's the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy. And not only is he the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, but for those of you who've been paying attention from week after week, my brand new book that's coming out soon, Healing with Numbers, which there's no flyer to, 15% of the proceeds will be going to his academy. I'll be making more noise about that probably in the next week or two, so pay attention and listen. And then we have our guest for today, our sponsor for today as well, Nick Rafter, who is our writer, editor, journalist, and also real estate agent. So there's all our advertising sponsors. And of course, a big shout out to Bobby for making this happen week after week after week and paying attention to me behind the scenes. So how are you feeling? It's beautiful out here in New York, Queens. I'm not sure where you are and if it's nice out or if it's cold, whatever the temperature might be. Trying to figure out if there's anything going on in the cosmic world right now. And believe it or not, I actually think it's quite quiet. Other than the fact that there's always something going on with our planets where they're conjuncting and just a lot of energy in itself, but nothing to the point where it's over the top and I need to remind you about anything. So with that being said, let me shuffle up the cards and let me see what we all have in store. However, I do want to bring to your attention that we are in the month of March, and out of the entire year, 12 months out the year, this is the only month that actually commands you to do something, and that is March 4th. Now, theoretically, when we look at the bigger picture of this month and that day, you have a total of 3 opportunities for that energy. Obviously, on March 4th, which just recently passed, which was this Thursday. You'll also have that opportunity again on March 13th, which is this week, and then again on March 31st. So when we think about marching forth, I'd like you to have the intention and the vision of one particular goal that you would like to march forth in. Now, I heard this really great statement from someone on Facebook, which I'm going to steal from him, and I'm trying to remember who it actually was so I can give them some credit. but at the moment I can't remember their name, but I will come back and put in the comments later on the show their name when I can think of it. But the comment was, having a goal without an actual vision doesn't get you anywhere. Because we can have goals, but if there's no actual vision to where that goal is going to go, all it is a goal. It's the same concept when we think about setting intentions without taking action. An intention is great, but unless you take action, it doesn't go anywhere. Same concept with a goal. So if your goal is to bring in 3 new clients today, what does that look like as a vision? What are those 3 new clients going to do for you to move forward? So I want you to think about it in that aspect, that when we have a goal, there has to be some sort of vision behind it. Otherwise, it just sort of flatlines, and we don't want anything to flatline. We're going to bring those 4 together. So the intention and the goal with a vision creates the action. So I want you to think about that. So you need to have those 4 processes together, those 4 principles together to actually manifest whatever it is you're looking to manifest. And with that being said, now I'm going to shuffle up the cards and see what one chakra will help you to release any blocks to prevent you from reaching the goal you're looking to reach. As you set the vision, what is your vision for that goal? All right, so let's see what we have going on. So this will be the chakra that's going to help you let go of any resistance. And there's going to be a number that's going to provide a hidden message. And then, of course, an affirmation that you can use to push you forward. So let's see what we have. Interesting card. In reverse. So when we think about a reverse card here, could be that we have a little resistance. So the affirmation to start off with is creativity. How can you use your creativity to really dig deep into the intention, into the goal, and the vision to take action? The chakra here is the solar plexus, which makes a lot of sense when we think about those 4 processes. In regards to that, trusting the process, trusting that we deserve what it is we're looking to set the goal on, feeling secure, new tongue today, feeling secure on being able to receive that intention, receive the vision. Because sometimes we set out a great goal that we might have, and then we start sort of tripping back because we don't think we are worthy of having it. Or we start to doubt ourselves, or we start to judge ourselves based on that inner dialogue that goes on in regards to maybe you don't feel good enough for that, or you're not the best one to have this, so why you? Well, that's why it's important to work on your solar plexus, so you do not have those things tripping you up, and that when you are setting your intention, your goal, you can see the vision, and then you can take action, then you can feel secure and trust that whatever it is you are setting, and you are actually able to see that vision, no, it's already ready for you. You just have to raise your vibration enough to match it. So here's our number, guys. 66. Upon healing your solar plex chakra, it's going to help you completely let go of what doesn't serve that chakra and allow you to create, which is 66 is a 3. It allows you to create that vision into your reality. So again, just thinking about the process of the intention, what your intention is, connecting it to that goal, and then allowing you to have vision. Why is that goal so important for you? The vision, where's it going? And then what steps are you going to take? The action to create that goal, which is creativity. I think this is such a powerful, powerful card, and so appropriate for the subject matter. As we are in, again, the month of March. Now, please note that you don't have to just wait for March 4th, which is gone already, or the 13th or the 31st to March 4th. Have that energy in mind for the entire month and see what kind of goals you can actually accomplish. So I encourage you to do that. Set the intention, write down the goal, start to visualize in meditation, or just sit quietly and dream. Take a dream nap just for like 5 minutes and see yourself in that space of whatever it is you're looking to create. And then start the process of taking action. And give yourself a timeline, whether it's 7 days, 14 days, or 21 days, and see what happens. How's that work for you? I would love for you to leave that in the comments. Let me know. Let me know. Share how this is resonating with you. And again, the beautiful color of the solar plexus is yellow. So I like you to visualize when you are in a state of intentions and vision. Visualize this beautiful bright yellow sun expanding. The bigger the sun can expand, the bigger your dream is. With that being said, we are going to take a really quick commercial break, which gives you a chance to run to the bathroom or get some water. We'll be right back, and I'll have my guest with us.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Are you ready for that breakthrough? If so, I can help. I'm Reverend Eliza Bloom Robinson, Transformation Catalyst, and I support people just like you to move through into breakthrough, finding the place of empowerment and clarity about who you be and what you do. I'm offering a complimentary consultation session. Just simply email me at newhumanitynow@gmail.com, and I look forward to chatting with you.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you just tuning in, I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest here who I'm going to introduce in just a minute, but I do want to recap on our card for today, which is about creativity and about marching forward, marching into your goals, your intentions, your visions, and taking action. And make sure you tap into your solar plex energy just in case you are feeling not worthy of those goals. You don't want anything blocking you from creating the very thing you wish to have in your reality. So number 3 is what it is you are creating, how you are communicating it, and making sure it comes into your reality. So that's our card for today. With that being said, I think it's a perfect card as I introduce Nick Rafter, who's been here, oh my God, can't even count how many times. He is our writer, editor, journalist, and also real estate agent. How are you, Nick?
Good, how are you?
Very good. And I'm loving the title for today, Making Two Careers Work. And I think it's a really, really important title because I think there's many people out there who's trying to juggle whether or not they're supposed to make more than one career work. So let's talk about this. What do you mean by making two careers work?
Well, I'm 37, so I'm in a generation where, full-time union benefit jobs just didn't really exist for us. We entered the workforce 10 years ago. And so we were thrown into what is being termed as the gig economy.
The who?
The gig economy, GIG.
Got it.
You get gigs,
Yes,
So,
yes.
Jobs that weren't really full-time, they were mostly hourly wages or were part-time, and then you just kind of almost like a Tetris block, tried to make them fit. And so for many years, it's been hard to do that. But I think in the last year, since the pandemic made us all go remote, it's been easier for us to sort of make that work. And so for me, I bounced from journalism into real estate and then doing some editing on the side because real estate kind of went very, dormant during the pandemic. And now I'm sort of doing both career paths. And people who are more older and more experienced in the old way of doing things gave us the advice that you really can't do that. You really can't focus on two things. You have to do one or the other. And so for years, that's what I did. I did one or the other. But I'm finding now that, it's a large time commitment, as large as a full-time job would be. But making two careers work is possible. And for me, it's fairly easy because I don't really adhere to a 9-to-5 schedule. I don't like to,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
So it's easier to do it when you don't adhere to that type of schedule. So I find myself, working late at night or early in the morning, but not in the middle of the day, or the weekend, but not on Wednesday. And so that sort of ability to shift my schedule around and be flexible with it has allowed me to sort of make that work.
Yes, and it's really interesting because what I'm hearing in reference as you're calling like the gigs job. I'm hearing it's almost like the gypsies, where you know how like people, they live in their house for a little while, and then let's say a year or two later they're out finding a new house to live in.
Uh-huh.
It's all like, to me it just seems like when we have this flexibility of being able to do, like as you just said, working a couple of hours in the morning if we want, or a couple hours at night doing whatever we want from one career to the other. It's like being a gypsy. It's giving you the ability and the permission. And I think that's really important, is the permission to say, you know what, we don't need to be in a society of a 9 to 5, because 9 to 5, from my point of view anyway, because I don't think I've ever worked a 9 to 5 job or whatever, is overrated. Whereas when you do get the ability and you give yourself permission to say, you know what, I'm going to work a couple of hours in the morning, like you said, and then maybe take, the afternoon, not necessarily a fiesta where you're going to take a nap, but maybe you just take the afternoon off to go sit out in the sun, and then come back and do some more. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because one thing that I learned at the start of my career working 9 to 5s is that no one actually works 9 to 5. It's usually,
what do they actually work? It's
usually 9 to 6 or 9 to 6:30 or 9 to 5, and then again from 8 to 10. Or really 7 to 5. There's very few jobs where you clock in at 9, clock out at 5, and then you just close it off for the rest of the day.
Yeah. Well, you're a history buff. So what year? Now this is going to go back. What year was it that nobody worked on Sundays except for the bakeries and I think it was just the bakeries. What year, going that far back, did we not work Sundays? Because I remember there was a time that we didn't.
Well, and there's still small towns in Europe where they do that, by the way. I would say it had to be before the Vatican Council in the early 60s, where the Catholic Church completely changed a lot of its theology. I don't know if that was one of them, but I know that that's probably around the time where people started saying, all right, we don't have to take Sundays off like we usually do. People will visit stores on Sundays, or we'll visit, we'll do commerce on Sundays. And I think that's really where it probably started.
Because I remember when I was like probably maybe 10 to even, I'm going to go like 10 to 15. And that's, of course, before I started working, where I believe most of your stores were not open on Sundays.
Yeah.
It was really classified as family day.
Yeah, it was probably a decades-long process to get there.
Uh-huh.
It started in the 60s. I remember too. I'm old enough. I was really young at that point, but I remember that there was a point on Saturday and Sunday afternoons from like 1 to 4 where nothing was open, nothing was on TV, and you just sat with your family, and that's what you did. And in my case, we didn't really do that every week. Like I have this memory of just like my whole family napping and me just kind of sitting with my toys for a little while, But in summer, that's when we had parties, and that's when we had family gatherings and dinners and stuff, and holidays. And over time, I started realizing that became harder to do because people had to work. And I was like, who's working today? It was an interesting shift that happened. And I was really young, and now it's just completely that. I do most of my work on the weekends.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And by the way, I like working. I never thought I'd like working on the weekends. And one of my biggest frustrations and one of my biggest regrets is that I spent so long refusing to go into career routes that made me work on weekends, because I thought weekends were like when my friends hang out, we party, we go away, blah, blah. And once I started working on the weekends and having a Wednesday off, it was the greatest experience. Because, I don't think people realize how amazing it is to go grocery shopping on a Wednesday morning when there's nobody there, or go to the.
You might want to keep that to yourself, because if everyone knows that there's no one there on Wednesdays, they might decide, you know what, I'm going to take off Wednesdays and be in that same supermarket you're going to be in, and before you know it, everybody's shopping on Wednesdays because Nick shared that no one's there.
I took a Tuesday off a year and a half ago to go to the zoo, and the zoo was empty, and I felt like I had my own personal zoo. It was a great experience, and the only thing I had to give up is working on Sundays.
What zoo did you go to?
Bronx Zoo.
Oh, I'm sure my sister was there. I'm sure you probably bumped into my sister and
Probably.
didn't even know it because she's at the zoo, almost every, as often as she can get there. Yeah, yes,
Taking pictures, yeah.
yeah. It's so funny because of the pandemic, I've started taking off Fridays due to the pandemic, and I obviously have to say, honestly speaking, I think it's one full year that I have not worked on a Friday, and I'm not one to sort of appreciate days off. I sort of like to work because I like what I do. But I so look forward to knowing that on Fridays I have a day off. It's like, yes. And I don't do anything special. It's not like, I'm out in the supermarkets. I make sure I don't go to the supermarket on Friday because I'm sure everybody and their mother is there. But yeah, so I appreciate the day off. And I also appreciate, as you do, where, working, maybe at midnight writing that paper or putting together a program or whatever it might be. So when you're doing your work and juggling now, do you actually juggle like the real estate? Well, real estate, I guess it's not so much a juggle because I'm sure you have a set schedule to when you have to show homes.
Yeah, I mean, there's it's a little less that case now than usual than in the past because we don't really have specific open houses at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually try to block off. One thing that I will say is that you need organizational skills. You need
Yes.
really good organizational skills, which by the way I never really had, and so this has
Okay.
taught me to have good organizational skills. So I
Now,
have
do you have, let's say, a whiteboard or something that has like your actual schedule, like the days of the week, and
Mhm.
blocked out what you're doing when, or do you sort of wing it? How does that work for you?
I don't have a whiteboard, but I have my Google and Apple calendars synced
Mm-hmm.
with color coded things in the schedule telling me what's work one, what's work two, what's health and fitness, and what's other priorities. And so I make good use of that. And I in fact I was staring at my calendar just a few seconds ago and looking at my week schedule, and it's interesting how much of you know the week I have already plotted off. And in fact, we were talking about scheduling an appointment for a meeting between us earlier, where I was like, oh,
Yes.
no, and it's interesting because in my old life, I did kind of just wing it because I had one job, and so and then they would throw curveballs at me where it was like, oh, I have to work late today, you know,
Uh-huh.
but that wasn't in my schedule, and the whole thing is off, and so I never found any reason to be organized because everything would just get thrown off anyway. And I think
Exactly.
doing it this way, especially when I have control over it, where it's my businesses, so I have control over it. I can do that where I can say, well, I'm not working 6:30 on a Thursday. This is not getting done on 6:30. Maybe I'll get done at 8:30 on Thursday. You know,
Exactly.
but it won't get done at 6:30. That time is already blocked out, and so that has made it easier for me too, is because I'm able to sort of decide when things start and end.
Yes.
You know,
Excellent, excellent. And since we actually took a breather there, what we're going to do is let the viewers know how they can reach you.
sure, you can reach me at Nick Rafter, NICKREFTER at gmail.com. Or you can find me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram at Nick Rafter or Nick Rafter Real Estate, whichever part
Excellent,
you want to reach me at.
excellent. Yes. So for those of you out there who are looking to write that blog or that article, or maybe even looking for that house or an apartment, I recommend that you do connect with Nick. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, Rob the Warrior Strategist coming at you from San Diego, California. And if you want help developing your own income streams and entrepreneurial systems, feel free to reach out to me at dragonsgold76@gmail.com. Thanks.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917 863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR, @gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Did you know that astrology and numerology influences your metabolism and weight? Hello, I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your certified holistic personal trainer, intuitive healer, cosmic energy reader, student of astrology, master of numerology, and the creator of the Chakra Balance Numerology Cosmic Energy Forecast Stack. And I help women and men by referral release issues from their tissues while releasing emotional weight and falling in love with themselves. As I witness the transformation of watching each client become the best version of who they are. To redeem your first discovery session at 10% off, email healingwithin76@gmail.com. I do look forward to helping you release your issues from your tissues and falling in love with yourself. Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Nick Rafter, who is our writer, editor, and journalist, real estate agent as well. And we were just talking about how making two careers work. So before we go there, I just want to remind you guys to share, like, and comment, because if you do, you're going to get a chance to win today's raffle prize, which we'll be mentioning that at the end of the show. So stay with us, because you got to stay with us throughout the entire time to be in it to win it. So Nick, when we speak about making two careers work, would you also say that that's possible for someone who's working, let's say, a 9-to-5, who wants to also indulge in their actual career? How would that work, if it works at all?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a little bit more commitment, because you really can't do it in the 9 to 5 hour when you're working your full-time job. But I think the best way to do it is sort of make sure you block off times in which you can do it. First, figure out how much time commitment you can put towards it. So if you could only put maybe 5 hours a week towards it, then say, is it worth doing it for 5 hours a week? And if it is, find those 5 hours in your schedule where you think you can make it work. A good example is, I actually work with a woman who is doing this right now. She has a full-time job from 9 to 5, and she works in real estate on the weekends, but mainly just Sunday. She does open houses on Sundays, and that provides her some income on that, and provides her an opportunity to do some real estate work. She's not full 100% into it, but she's still active with it.
Mm-hmm, yes.
And then, I mean, it sacrifices like 3 hours on a Sunday for her, but she's not busy socially, so she's able to sort of budget that time.
Yes, and it's really not a sacrifice if it's something that she enjoys doing.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm having this. I was promoting the show, and I was having conversations with people I talked to on Twitter, who one woman who admitted that she has a lot of anxiety about the end of the pandemic and the return to normal work life, because she doesn't want to go back to what she was doing before, because it was very time consuming and she had never had time, and now she's learned that she can spend more time with her family and at home, and she likes that. And I was suggesting to her that that there's no reason why you cannot keep these current boundaries that you've discovered now, when the restrictions are all lifted. There's no reason
Exactly.
why you can't. And then she was really having this hard time where she was saying, oh, but you know how hard it is to have other mothers tell you, how can your children only play one sport, not 3 sports? And I really want more time to do this, do art. And I was like, you need to let go of that. Like that's the first thing you have to let go with. But also, I mean, if you were enjoying your life beforehand and all of those commitments that you were dedicating yourself to, and that's really what you wanted to do and you were happy doing it, you wouldn't feel this way now.
Exactly.
And
I think the big thing that you mentioned was boundaries. And I think with the pandemic had actually helped many people recognize what they didn't like and what they did like. And I'm gonna lean towards the end of many people realize what they didn't like, that they were actually doing because, like you said, what are people going to think of them if their child wasn't in 3 or 4 sports a week?
Right.
You know, so, oh my God, if my child's only doing one sport, oh my, I'm the worst parents in the world. Where the pandemic took that away, and now people have this ability to now, when things start to go in a different direction, people now have the ability to set boundaries and say, you know what, for my child's sake, they don't need to be in 4 different types of sports. They could do one sport and focus on whatever. And the same thing with people with work. If they really have, you know, anxiety over going back to work, you know, in that type of environment, and they prefer to do their other job, which is not working a 9 to 5, maybe this pandemic has actually opened up opportunities for people to like make a change and slip into that, out of the 9 to 5 and into that more of, I'm going to call it gypsy career, gypsy schedule, where you're working 4 hours in the morning and maybe 4 hours at night, whenever you feel like it, or whatever the case is, which is so funny because I think that's how I've always worked. I don't think I've ever worked a 9 to 5 job. I would work in the morning from, when I was working for, you know, for gyms at the time, I would work in the morning from, let's say, 9 to 1, and then I would leave and either go back to the same place that I worked for or a different job, you know, in the same field, and work, let's say, from 5 to 9. I never worked the afternoon hours. It's like the weirdest thing to me. So, but it's definitely workable.
I mean, I've early on, I worked 9 to 5s and I absolutely hated it. I just remember just not, and I remember there were some days where, you know, I would sit there and just stare at the clock and wait until 5 o'clock came because I really had nothing to do. Like it was, I felt like I was just kind of like keeping a seat warm. And I kept thinking of all the other things that I could be doing now, and not necessarily like leisure activities like watching TV or anything, other productive things that I could be doing, you know, and writing or editing or, you know, working on a political campaign or, you know, anything else that I could be doing that could be more productive than me sitting here waiting for the phone to ring until 5 o'clock. And so, and for some people, that's great. Like I had a great aunt who loved doing that because she sat there and read a book all day. You know, and I think that there are, every job has somebody who's fitted to it. But I knew at that point, I said, I can't work 9 to 5s. Then I wasn't sure how I would make it work. But when I was in journalism early on, I had so much fun doing it that I couldn't disconnect from it. Mm-hmm. I did burn myself out. I mean, I remember it was a year. I was working a year without a day off. My first year as a reporter. And the only reason why I took a day off was my best friend was getting married, and I almost didn't want to go to her wedding.
Oh no! Because you wanted to stay home and do journalism work?
Because I had news stories I wanted to write, and I wanted to pull it. And I remember my mother saying, like, to the moment that we were leaving for the wedding, I was sitting on my computer, you know, making phone calls and sending emails to sources, and she was like, "We have to go." And this was before a smartphone, so I didn't even have an iPhone to sit there and look. You know, it was completely disconnected. And then
I guess that's a good thing though, because I can only imagine if you did what you would have been like at that wedding.
Exactly. Yeah. And then a year later, we finally went on vacation for the first time. So it was 2 years until I actually took a vacation, and we did a cruise to the Bahamas, and it was so hard to disconnect. And then I hadn't have a choice. We were in the middle of the ocean. Yes. But I remember that first day, I had this like anxiety that like the best news scoop in the world was going to come out. I'm going to miss it. And I just having that disconnection was basically like coming down off a caffeine high, and I felt physically ill. And I remember like at one point I was sitting on the promenade deck of the ship listening to the water pass. And if you haven't been on a cruise, sometimes cruises can be the most relaxing experiences because just the general like the sounds of the ocean and everything. And I was dozing in and out of a nap, and I was like, this is how it feels to be relaxed. And I didn't know, like at that point, I was like, wow, this is a new experience for me.
Interesting, yes.
And after that, like I could never do the round the clock work again. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. So for someone who is juggling the two careers where they're really trying to figure out, like, you know, can they and do they want to, like, what advice can you provide them in reference to transitioning and at least trying to see if the two careers will work? What advice would you give them?
My first advice is to figure out how much time commitment a week you would have to give. Not only just what you were willing to give, but how much would you have to give. And you know, the hardest part of that is that you're going to talk to people who are in the career or trying to get you to be in the career. We're going to tell you, oh, you have to give full time, you know, to this. You can't just, and that I don't think it's necessarily true for most jobs in the gig economy anyway. You don't have to give, you know, 40, 50, 60 hours a week to it. But even if you can, let's say you can say, oh, I've done 80-hour a week jobs before. I can give 80-hour weeks to my careers, to 2 careers. Figure out from there when you're most productive. What time of the day or what day of the week are you the most productive? And so plot yourself off that time of day. For me, it's usually mid afternoon. And then also don't do 7 days. Do not make it a 7-day thing. You know, most I would say work 6 days. Always keep a day, whatever day of the week you want it to be, a day to have a day off. You know, an off is sort of a weird thing because you might check an email or something at some point during the day, but just a day where you're not working.
So now, do you really have a day off, or do you have a day where you call it your day off, but you might check into your emails, or you might decide to peek in on an editing project? Do you really have a day off?
I have a day where that's not a priority. Now, I think that in explanation, the reason why I don't have a day off is because we're still in the middle of a pandemic and there isn't much to do outside of the house. So, and I don't really like to sit in front of a TV for 8 hours.
Yes.
So I find myself, you know, at best reading a book and then checking my phone and then getting torn into the wormhole. But that day off is still on my calendar because as we go back to, you know, doing activities in the public, I'm going to use that day off to go to the beach. I'm going to use that day off to go, you know, to the zoo again, to a museum, on a boat ride around Manhattan, or on a day trip upstate to go hiking. You know, my plan is to use that day off for that as we come out of this. And so I don't want to not have it now. I want it still to be on my schedule. But I find, you know, last week my day off was Tuesday. I went to the dentist in the morning.
Okay. So you don't. So right now you don't have like a specific day off, like
No.
Like theoretically, what was that?
I plan my day off around, for example, I went to the dentist on Tuesday. I took that day off. Just so when I came back, I just rested.
Okay.
You know, next
And
week,
when do you make that decision on what day you're going to have off? Is it based on, let's say, a doctor's appointment, or how's that made up?
I basically look at my week schedule and say which day do I have no commitments,
Okay.
and then or the least number of commitments, and can I move another day?
Yes.
So for this week, I think my day off is probably going to be Thursday. You know, because I have one commitment that I could probably move.
Okay.
And so, that's how I usually do it. Some days, I know a couple weeks, it's been a Friday. I have a day off.
Yes.
But I try to work it out that way.
Excellent. Yeah, because as we're having this conversation, even though I had said my day off is Friday, theoretically speaking, yes, it's a day off, but I still actually work because I have my Friday intuition card reveal on Friday night that I do. And yeah, it's part of work, but I also consider it part of play because I enjoy it so damn much. But whatever the case is, it's 1 hour out of my day.
That's another thing too about like juggling careers, is that there are some people whose careers also kind of blur the lines with their leisure. I'm thinking like artists and stuff.
Yes.
In my case, writing is that.
Exactly.
You know, when I'm writing in the evening, am I working? You know,
Could be.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, but also I'm
Exactly.
not. So
Exactly.
it's good to so when you have days off, sometimes I write on my days off.
Exactly. Yeah, excellent. Let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Sure. You can reach me at nickrafter@gmail.com, NICKRAFTER, or find me on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram at Nick Rafter.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the raffle winner from last week. And we're going to be sharing just one more tip about how to combine your 2 careers. And then I'm going to be giving Nick a reading if he's open to it. So we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, I'm Natan Bradbury. I'm a veteran, Kabbalist, mystic, coach, and spiritual mentor. I have been blessed to help many students on their spiritual journey over the last 20 years. I am currently the founder of the Mystic Warrior Academy, and what we're doing is we're helping veterans heal from the inside out, overcome any sort of emotional trauma that they've been through. So if you're a veteran, a therapist, or a coach, and are interested in learning more about our program, you can contact us directly at info@mysticwarrioracademy.com. Blessings.
Hello, my name is Nick Rafter, journalist, writer, editor. I'm happy to be offering copy editing and line editing services at competitive industry rates. If you have a book or any document that needs to be edited and thoroughly looked through, please contact me at nickrafter@gmail.com. Let's discuss how to get that work done. That's Nick Rafter, NICKRAFTER, @gmail.com. I hope to hear from you soon.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. For those of you who are just joining, I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, and I have my amazing guest, Nick Rafter, who is our writer, editor, journalist, and also real estate agent. I was going to give you a whole new title. Maybe it's a promotion. Who knows? And we were just sharing about how you can actually make two careers work. And you can really make two careers work, especially if you love what you're doing. Why not? So Nick, let's give one more tip for our viewers. And before we give that tip, again, share, like, and comment, because you still have an opportunity. If you're just joining us now, that you're live, you still have an opportunity to get your name in our bucket several times. Share, like, comment. You get 3 opportunities with your name in the bucket. So go ahead and do that. All right, Nick. Give one more tip to our viewers to how they can actually really make two careers work.
One more tip I would give to people is don't worry about the financial situation. Don't think about finances. I think that's important. People sometimes think about, oh, will this career pay more, and should I do more? Should I dedicate more time to this better paying career of the two? Let the finances go out the window, because you don't.
I actually like the fact that you brought that up. And the reason why I like the fact that you brought that up, not to cut you off, but I think when people get caught up in the finances on, well, even if I only had the one job that I really love, the one career that I really love, many people hold on to careers, especially 9-to-5 careers. And I think this is a really important part. It's so funny, honest, how it's coming towards the end of the show, where people hold on to careers that they literally cannot stand only because of the actual money they make. And they're afraid to step into their actual career that they truly love. Yeah. And I truly believe that when one actually can step into their career that they truly love, and they're more joyful, the money flows even easily. A lot easier.
And I think that was a great fear for me, was leaving a career because of, I don't know how much money I would make, or prioritizing a career that makes more money. And that there are financial considerations to take, especially if you're struggling to make ends meet. But I do not make it a priority, because then you will just do it for the money, and that's, in my opinion, the core of why people are miserable in their jobs.
Yes.
That they don't see the work, they see the paycheck. And at first they think that's work that will bring worth to the job, and then they realize it doesn't. And then
Exactly. No, I truly believe that you definitely have to love what you are doing and not do what you're doing for the money. Because if you're doing what you're doing for the money, eventually you're going to start to hate what you do, and you're going to be miserable having to get up every single day to do what you're doing because you don't like it.
Right.
So definitely putting the finances on the side, and knowing that the finances will definitely work itself out, and you'll probably find yourself even making more money because you're actually doing something you truly love doing. And on top of that, two careers at the same time, working two careers at the same time. How can you go wrong? How can you go wrong? So yeah. So with that being said, so that was an awesome tip. I think that was a magnificent tip. So what I like to do now is I like to dive into announcing our raffle winner from last week's show. And drum roll, please. Our raffle winner from last week's show is Linda Boney. Very exciting. She's actually won the Spa Girl, which is choose any candle. That in this package, you get to choose any candle that comes with a mantra, 2 crystals, and a grounding meditation, and a postcard that you can actually write and journal with. So Linda Boney, congratulations. I will be posting this on our private great Facebook page. So definitely look out for that. So congratulations. And Nick, for this week's raffle raffle prize rather, what is our winner going to get for those who are playing? What is one person going to get?
Offering a free editorial consulting event meeting, I guess, where I will edit up to 2,500 words of your whatever, a blog post, anything that has words in it. Business brochure, business pamphlet, blog post, short story, whatever you have.
Excellent, excellent. And for those of you out there who are looking to, who are playing and possibly will get a chance to win this amazing prize, and you want to get that article in a magazine, I have a handful of great magazines that are available and looking for subscribers. So if you are interested, one lucky winner that will be announced next Sunday's show, reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to gear you to the right direction to get that article be seen by many, many more people. So with all that being said, Nick, are you open to a reading today?
Of course.
Of course. Excellent. So Nick, just for our viewers, I'd like you just to repeat your name 3 times so I can tap into your energy.
My full name?
Yes, please. Your full name that's on your birth certificate out loud.
Dominic Rafter. Dominic Rafter. Dominic Rafter.
He made it sound like it was going to be this really, really long name. His full name? What? Now, if you would have said that to me, I can understand why I would have reacted that way. All right, so let's see what Nick needs to hear today. What affirmation, what color? Ooh, Nick is going to like this, except for it's in reverse. So, Nick, you have a little resistance to playing. Resistance to playing. That's how affirmation play. So you have to play some more. The throat chakra is what we're activating here. And I don't think it's so much about playing as much as it might be to be more playful when you communicate. Be more playful when you communicate. And what I'm hearing about the playful when communicating, it's definitely not relating to your editorial, like your journaling work. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. This is more about your relationship. Be more playful. Be more flirtatious, be more vulnerable. Allow yourself just to let go of whatever guard you might have that you might have up right now between you and your partner. Just be flirtatious is what I'm hearing, if you don't mind me saying so. The numbers 1 and 6. So 1, perhaps trying to do things a little differently than you've been doing in the time that you're in the amount of years you've been with your partner. Change it up some. Okay? 6, once you are more playful, you're going to notice things start to heal on a deeper level between you and your partner. Okay? I'm also hearing that this is also not just in reference to your intimate relationship, but in reference to like the 6th energy, being more playful and not so serious regarding your work. So just allow yourself to just be a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? I know you have to be professional.
Informal?
Casual. There you go. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And number 7 is all about the intellect, but being intellectual in a more fun kind of way is what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does it resonate?
Yeah, it does actually.
Okay. And I think the part that really resonated, if you don't mind me saying so, was more on the partnership on an intimate level. But I needed to get both in there because I was hearing that you want to bring both parts into this. So yes. So Nick, I'd like to thank you so much for being here today and sharing about how making two careers work, because it can definitely work that way. And one more time, let our viewers know how they can reach you.
Yeah, you can reach me at nickrafter@gmail.com, NICKRAFTR, or on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those fun social media sites, Nick Rafter or Nick Rafter Real Estate.
Excellent. So Nick, it was a pleasure, and I'm sure we'll be chatting, and I'm sure we'll have you back here again, probably another 500 times on the show, if not, here with us, as the guest, or maybe even here with us as one of our volunteers, which I just want to make an announcement for our viewers. Starting next Sunday, our show, Joanne's Healing Within, is going to add a little twist, bring something back that I had wanted to start a while back, where I'm going to have our guest and volunteers on the show, where we're going to be demonstrating a lot of healing work. That every guest that comes on as the healer will also be demonstrating the work that they do. So going forward, you are definitely going to want to tune in. And if any of our viewers are interested in being a volunteer, someone who's actually going to receive the healing demonstration, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com. And any of our viewers who are interested in being the healer on the show, again, that same email, healingwithin76@gmail.com. So with all that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And when I come back, I'll be giving the conclusion of today's show. And again, Nick, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Hi guys, I'm Kendrick Cortez Greer, personal astrologer and astrological counselor here in Brooklyn, New York. I've been an astrologer for over 23 years now, providing astrological readings, counseling sessions, workshops, and corporate events all throughout the tri-state area. I've been very blessed and lucky to have clients all throughout the United States and beyond. If you're interested in a reading that is warm, heartfelt, honest, and conducive to speaking to one of your best friends, please contact me at 917-863-7528. You can also email me at kendrickstar@gmail.com. That's Kendrick, STAR@gmail.com. And for you Insta people, find me on Instagram at Kendrick Cortez Astrology. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Toodles.
Hey everybody, Rob the Warrior Strategist coming at you from San Diego, California. And if you want help developing your own income streams and entrepreneurial systems, feel free to reach out to me at dragonsgold76@gmail.com. Thanks.
Hello and welcome back to Joanne's Healing Within. If you are just tuning in, I am your host, Joanne Angel Barry Cologne. And I'd like to remind you, if you are here right now, you still have an opportunity, that last opportunity, to go ahead and share. And leave a quick comment in reference to what I'm about to say now, because you will get an opportunity to win. Be one of the people that win the opportunity of next week's raffle, which is a editorial piece of about, I believe he said 2,500 words, which is really exciting. Anyway, so yeah, you have to be in it to win it. And our raffle winner for this week was Linda Boney, which I will be reaching out to her. And she's won a Spa Girl candle piece that comes with a whole lot of fun stuff. So yes. Anyway, if you missed last week's episode with Nicole Black, who is our author and entrepreneur and the author of I Can Still Hear You, feel free to go and watch Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or YouTube, or just watch it here as well. And for those of you who'd like to know what's going on for next week's show, I have an amazing guest who's going to do a healing demonstration, Eliza Bloom Robinson. She's going to be doing a quantum frequency healing demonstration that I guarantee you're going to want to watch. So tune in next week at 3 p.m. Eastern Time to catch her. Also, just a couple of reminders. We still have some space for the Her Story Wait healingwithin76@gmail.com. And also, I have my 5-week Ladies, Weights Are Your Friend program going on. If you want to learn more about that and see what's the best way to get weights into your routine, again, healingwithin76@gmail.com. And for all of you out there who are looking to shine your light, share your story, and inspire others to do the same, feel free to send your bio. Last time, healingwithin76@gmail.com. And I wish you all an awesome day, and I look forward. I'll be seeing you on Wednesday this week because this is the second Wednesday. You can come join me on Joanne's Cosmic Energy radio show, and I'll be sharing some exciting stuff then. So that's at 3 p.m. Eastern time as well, except that's on Strong Island Radio. So tune in. Till then, have an awesome day. Bye-bye for now.
Okay, we're in the outro. Hold on.